Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 1 of the anime series Shakunetsu no Takkyuu Musume, or Scorching Ping Pong Girls. I have to admit, this was not a series that I had any knowledge of or interest in when I was looking at the upcoming anime series for this particular season. You know, as is my wont during the downtime when I'm waiting for the first episodes to air of series I know I want to check out, I start to look at other ones that are cropping up just to see if there's anything else that might grab my interest. And I sat through 4 or 5 different shows prior to this, and I couldn't get more than 2 to 5 minutes into them. I just was like, no, these are not my bag, as I much assumed. This particular series, when I was looking at the listing for upcoming anime for this fall season, I'm sure I looked at the poster art and it really didn't strike me as being very interesting. I might have breezed through the synopsis, and it was completely, I hit the ignore button, and just, browsing around basically today, I saw this first episode cropped up, so I figured, all right, well, it's an episode 1, let's check it out. And there were some things that struck me about it right off the bat that were sort of familiar. You're basically dealing with, as the title suggests, a bunch of ping pong playing girls in school, and the beginning of the episode really harkened back to me how Hibike Euphonium, or Sound Euphonium had begun, where effectively they began with a loss. And all of these girls in this particular academy, Odo Academy or whatever it is, they lose, and it basically kind of looked like Madoka from Madoka Magica versus Hamura from Madoka Magica, and the Hamura-looking character is the one who wins very viciously. It's a 0-11, loss, and she starts crying, the Madoka-looking character. We begin the opening credits, and then we pick up with a whole host of other ping pong girls, and it's very much like the colors, the character styles, it harkens back to me, that kind of vibe, the look and the vibe, but a little brighter, a little more whimsical, to a Madoka Magic kind of framework. But that whole aspect of, well, here are, this group of girls who are going to be competing in ping pong, and I'm not really a sports anime person. There really hasn't been any that has ever grabbed me. I guess you could kind of say Shokugeki no Soma is kind of like a sport thing with cooking, a twist on that competitive sort of sports outlook. But no sports series has ever really grabbed me. There's going to be another series this season about girl cyclists that has me mildly intrigued. I might check out. But this one, I enjoyed watching this whole first episode because you're dealing effectively with the standing, sort of ping pong ace, Agari, this purple-haired chick, and she's got this little weird, hairband that's like an arrow, and every time they show her from the side where the arrow is exposed, I'm like, automatically I'm looking for whatever it's pointing at. It's never pointing at anything, but I'm like, sometimes in anime they do this thing where they pop a little red arrow up on the screen, and you're supposed to look at whatever it's pointing at because it's something funny or stupid or weird. And I'm constantly, every time she's on screen, she turns her head with the little arrow hairpin. I'm looking like, is there something there? Wait, oh, it's her hairpin. But effectively, she's coming to school early one morning, and she's welcoming new transfer student Koyori, who I don't know if she's the Madoka-looking chick from the pre-credits sequence. Her hair is still kind of red, whereas it was pink in the early going, but it's similarly styled. The only difference is she's really super timid, to the point where she's like hiding and ducking behind Agari the whole time. But when she gets a ping pong paddle in her hand, suddenly her demeanor changes. She becomes more confident, more friendly, more fun-loving, laughing, conversing with other characters. And of course, because Agari is the standing ace, when it turns out Koyori is a hell of a ping pong player, going up against the well-endowed Musume, who is the 4th spot in the top players in this particular academy she's just transferred to, everybody's jaws are dropping. Suddenly it's Koyori senpai, and Agari's like, what? She's like, somebody's trying to steal my thunder? The new girl's trying to steal my thunder? So you're going to have a potentially adversarial interplay within the confines of this academy. And, she's being interviewed, that is to say, Agari, the standing ace, basically to find out what their mission statement is, what their goal is, both personally and professionally as a ping pong player, she wants to go to the nationals. This is something sort of beyond how far they've ever gotten, I guess, something along those lines, even though she has partaken in certain levels of finals. But of course, Coyote's previous school, she has this history of going far beyond even what Agati has. So in a lot of ways, she's even better of a player than Agati is in the standing she's in this particular school. And I just thought it was really interesting and fun. I liked the lightheartedness of it. I liked that it didn't get overly melodramatic or weird or, off-putting in any way. I liked the brightness of the characters and the moods and the colors. And I love the characters so far. I mean, in the pre-credit sequence, there's a character who kind of looks like Yudachi from Kentai Collection Ken Cole, and I don't know if she's going to end up being a rival ping pong player or if she's like a coach or something along those lines, or if we're going to see this sort of Hamura-looking character again or not, if they're going to have to go up against this really powerhouse, like new academy that basically we found out in that opening sequence, they had just started playing and they got to the finals and they beat sort of the best school that had been for years, where this Madoka looking chick was from. So I don't know if Coyote is that same chick, if she's trying to, she darkened her hair so she's trying not to be noticed or recognized. I don't know. Just some early speculation, being that they focus so much attention on her in that opening sequence. If Coyote is not her, I will be surprised. But I also love some of the surrounding characters, most notably the blue hair-colored Hakuto, who, she's wearing like a winter coat kind of thing, and it's got one of those things that covers like half her face. So anytime she's talking, you don't see her mouth because it's covered, but she's blowing out like steam, like it's freezing cold in the room. She's the only one who does this. I'm getting like Sub-Zero vibes off this chick. Like, is she ice cold? Like, she have ice powers? I don't know. But that's the thing. It was kooky. It was quirky. It's, something new for me, and I like checking out new things, and I like the light, fun-loving vibe, but I like the aesthetic of there's going to be a sort of adversarial thing going on with the main characters, amongst themselves, but they're not only going to be facing that challenge, they're also going to be facing the challenge of trying to go to the finals, and who knows how exactly that's going to play out. Are we going to see them immediately going up against other schools? Is it going to be trial and error of seeing what players within their own school works and who's good and who's the best of the best? Are they going to compete against each other before they even get to that level? There's just so many things that potentially have me interested in this particular series. Don't know if I'm going to be covering it episodically in reviews, but I wanted to put it out there for this first episode, my first impressions, and I dig it. I'm really kind of loving the vibe, and I want to check more of it out and see where it goes. So for now, for the time being, I will be watching. Don't know about reviews. We'll see by episode 2 if I feel compelled to come back on and talk about it. But otherwise, let me know in the comments below what you've thought about the first episode of Scorching Ping Pong Girls, if you've seen it as well, if you'll be checking it out based on this recommendation, hopefully not too spoilery, or if it's not your bag entirely. Love it or hate it, anything goes in the comments below. Just love having that conversation. Otherwise, it'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.